I'm going to just start us off with an easy question just so everybody can introduce themselves. Perhaps, could you tell me a little bit about the concept behind each of your works, as well as how the work came to being? So I'll just go, Michael, would you like to start us off?
Sure. It's a little bit awkward for me. I'm the producer, not the director. But I lived with this film for almost as long as Koji did, so I guess I could talk a little bit about it. Koji and I first met about 10 years ago. I was a huge fan of his. And it was right around that time Koji's kids were just becoming teenagers. And my son was just moving from 7 or 8 to 9-ish, and was starting to talk back and stuff like that. And Koji's kids were becoming teenagers and getting surly and sort of drifting away from the home. And he had this idea, this notion just struck him about the tyranny of time and how it just keeps going no matter how much we may want for it to stop for all the right reasons, and how much we might want to stop it and control it for all the wrong reasons, like Muybridge did, the guy who was experimenting with cinema. So that's really where it started from, is being parents and watching our kids grow up. A friend of mine told me that from the moment our children are born, they grow away from us. And that was a realization that really came to me. So I think it's in the film.
So when I was 11, my mom came with me from Hong Kong and had to separate my dad and my mom for 4 years. So it's basically, throughout my time in Canada, I see the struggle of how my mom and others women is basically saying, like, how struggle they are, but they hear it because for their son or daughter or for the next generation. So in 2009, I was at York doing my MFA film production, and I came to the idea, I'm like, I have to make a film about, for a woman who was left behind. And I went to China, and then where my girlfriend Phoebe's hometown, outside of that, for an hour, and I saw this woman who had a similar idea of they being left behind by their husband, because their husband is working so many miles away from their hometown. And that's how Left Behind started. And from that point, I mean, it went to a big screen now. So that's about my story behind it. So thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for coming. I guess our film came from that final image of the two bodies kind of moving towards each other, which kind of, came from wherever those ideas come from, and it refused to go away. So we spent some time with it, and it sort of was willed into being with a lot of help and collaboration, and we started investigating where it came from and why, which sort of became the whole project, and what it's about.
It's a little bit experimental. Elaborate just a little bit more.
I can get elaborate, I don't know if it'll be totally clear.
Why did you set yourself on fire and launch yourself into
Well, I think we were exploring a lot of...
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
I think we were exploring and investigating a lot of different ideas around spectacle and audience and urgency and trying to make a connection. I wanted to acknowledge a few people that are here that helped with the film. There's probably some people that I don't know, but Rosalie McIntosh is here. She did about 6 Ludwig Voss and Joseph Murray, who did the soundscape for the film, are also here, incredible collaborators, and Alison Hare, my partner in crime, who was an amazing collaborator. So thank you guys for coming in.
My name is Alan Yang. Thank you, thanks to Alicia to give the chance to present this film here in Toronto. I mean, to me, I think this is kind of a special presentation because I studied here and lived here in Toronto after I came from China. Actually, it's very interesting because I came from the same province where you shot your film. I was like, wow. So the film actually, like, it's also very special, I think, to present the film here. It's also because all the actors actually in the films are all immigrants. They're not professionals. They are real first-generation immigrants, and most of them actually running convenience stores at the corner, like in the street corners in the neighborhood in Montreal. And I think it's special because that we're showing it here in Toronto, and we're well known for multiculturalism and many immigrants here. I think I don't know. I hope there's I find there's similarities or differences between their lives and your life. The story actually is a real story, based on a real story. The person who had a cancer, and he's well now, he's okay. He went back to China for 2 years, and now he runs another dépanneur in the subway station. And as well as, I mean, there are some people here, like, the main character, Gu, Yijin Hapa, the person wearing the red T-shirt. He wasn't a convenience store owner back then, but now he's just like about half a year ago he bought he's a convenience store. So yeah, like kind of the life that most Chinese people are doing, like in Montreal, like before they settle down, actually, before they even buy a house or rent a place, they start looking for convenience stores. So yeah, I guess that's the inspiration.
Amazing. Well, you can hold on to that for a while. Next we have mic runners in the 2 aisles. If you'd like to ask a question, just put your hand up and the mic runner will give you a mic and ask your question. Do I see any hands? Oh, I see a hand right here.
Hey Randall, this is a question for Randall. I've had the privilege of watching one of your earlier works, Fish and Barrel, where you work with water, and here you work with fire. So I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern. What's your fascination with the elements?
Oh dear. It's not intentional. I think, maybe on a really basic level that I'm still ignorant to. It's just about sort of the visceral qualities of some of those elements, and that they sort of carry through, a story or through imagery without using words or without using traditional narrative in a way. That's sort of, in this case, I think that evokes, that sort of sense of urgency, and then because we were taking those moments and slowing them down so much, you kind of have the opportunity to investigate some of the beauty of the image, and as you're kind of hopefully kind of going between those two ideas, it's such an immediate, universal kind of response that you have to flames and sort of what that meant, I guess, is where it came from. It wasn't a conscious decision at all to go from water to fire. I think it was very beautiful.
just want to say both films are so brave and really, really inspiring and interesting. For Anon, you said that you had found that story, and so it was from someone that had a convenience store. How did you make it so personal, though? The connections, the relationships, they just seem so like honest and like really beautiful. I just want to know how you found that.
Actually, because yeah, like I forgot to mention actually, because after I graduated here in Toronto at U of T, I was studying computer engineering here. Then I went to Montreal because my parents were actually running dépanneurs, convenience stores in Montreal. So time that I was there, while I studied, at the film school there at the Melhemheim, I was helping out at the store as well. So I see a lot of stories. I mean, actually, behind every store, there are just so many stores in Montreal, and behind every store there's a story to be told. So I guess like that's how I can be more up close with these people. And actually, when I did a casting call in Montreal, the response was really, really good. We had more than 100 people showed up, non-professionals. They all just came in the store owners came for audition. And we actually we also recorded their auditions, and I'm just in the process of putting them together with the film, see if I can kind of enlarge them and give them more like real nuances to the film, and see to reach more audience. So.
But you were open to actors and non-actors?
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon's question was, were you open to actors and non-actors? And said yes. I'm sorry, I'm getting the wrap up, and so I can only take one last question. Is there a last question from the audience? Just one there.
Question for Anon as well. I really like the ending scene with the fire of a house. Can you explain a little bit? Was it real, or is it coincident, or you said that? And how does it relate to the story?
Okay. Yeah. Well, actually, when in the script there wasn't really a fire. The ending was different. The ending was more like it's different. Then while doing the preparation of the film, and there was actually a fire happened just behind where I live, and I happened to have the camera there, so I just went and shot the fire. And then I thought, okay, this would be a very interesting thing to incorporate it into the film. For different reasons, dramatic reasons too, and as well as the fact that the film is kind of slow pacing, and it's hard to kind of wrap it at the end. And also, more importantly, is for the kind of sense of hope, I think, fire that can give us, especially in the winter, and there's, can be, if you're analyzing it, it could be more, the destructive of the fire, as well as the kind of energy it has, and life of it. So, and by the end, it was kind of we use special effects reflected on the window. So before we start shooting, and I already know this will be the ending. So then we shot the last scene with the fire in mind.
Beautiful. Thank you. All of your work is incredibly beautiful. Thank you so much for being here today and for your work. Can I get a round of applause?